as of 5:32 p.m. As the board's current chair, I will serve as the presiding officer for tonight's election of our board officers, at which point I will turn over the meeting to our newly elected board chair. With that note, I would respectfully ask everyone to remain muted unless you are recognized to speak. Thank you all for joining us this evening. As the board has moved to in-person meetings for our monthly gatherings, please note that the default is for committee meetings of the RTD Board of Directors to be held remotely via Zoom. Committee meetings will be audio and video recorded. The meeting recordings, along with the unofficial minutes of the meetings, will be posted as soon as possible on the board's website. Visit rtd-denver.com, and a live stream of this meeting is also available via RTD's YouTube page. During tonight's meeting, we're also providing Communication Access Real-Time Translation, also known as CART. Anyone who'd like to access the service should send an email to the RTD board office at rtd.boardoffice@rtd-denver.com, and a link will be provided. Additionally, the CART transcript can be automatically translated into Spanish for anyone who'd like access to a live transcript of this meeting in Spanish. Our first order of business is the installation of our recently appointed director, Cindy Arcuri. I am pleased to welcome the Honorable Judge, Frederick Martinez, who will officiate for us and will administer the oath of office to Ms. Arcuri. While Judge Martinez has retired from the bench, we are grateful for his participation in tonight's ceremonies. Judge Martinez graduated from Colorado College with honors. After graduating from the University of Colorado School of Law, Judge Martinez joined the State of Colorado Public Defender's Office before later becoming a partner and litigator in the Denver-based law firm for 20 years. In 2014, Judge Martinez was appointed by Governor Hickenlooper as a district court judge for the 18th Judicial District, where he served until 2023. He currently serves as a member of staff of arbiters and the Judicial Arbiter Group, or JAG. In a moment, I'll ask Ms. Arcuri to stand and move to the center of the room for our in-person and remote attendees. Please note that the swearing in will take a few moments, as we will have Ms. Arcuri take the oath of office, then sign her oath before finishing with an opportunity for photos. Following the photos, I will continue with the meeting and offer Ms. Arcuri a brief moment to share any welcoming remarks she may have. With that, Ms. Arcuri, will you please join Judge Martinez in the center of the room? And Judge Martinez, I'll now turn the proceedings over to you. Please proceed when you are ready.
Thank you very much. We get two microphones, although one will work as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please repeat after me. If you would, raise your right hand. I, Cindy Arcuri,
I, Cindy Arcuri,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
or affirm
that
I am an elector
I'm an elector
who resides at 6364 South Oak Way,
who resides at 6365
65.
South Oak Way,
Thank you. Littleton, Colorado,
Littleton, Colorado,
80127,
80127,
which is within the Regional Transportation District
which is within the Regional Transportation District
and within Director District N,
and within Director District N,
Arapahoe and Jefferson counties,
Arapahoe and Jefferson counties,
from which I was appointed,
that
I will support the constitutions of the United States,
that I will support the constitutions of the United States
the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of director
the duties of the office of director
of the Regional Transportation District
of the Regional Transportation District
to which I have been appointed.
to which I have been appointed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That there is a official document for her to sign?
There is indeed.
Wonderful. So we will do that here.
Okay.
Duly signed and executed. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Hold on. Oh, He knows what he's doing. Should I?
Congratulations, Director Arcuri. With that being said, I open the floor. Would there be any remarks or any words you'd like to share?
Yes, I'd like to thank you all. I'm very excited to be here. I realize I have big shoes to fill with Peggy's departure, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with all of you, working with many constituents in my district, and working with many who come to these public meetings and share ideas with us and requests and suggestions. I have a long history. My career was with state government. I have experience in budget, addressing committees, addressing different boards, working with stakeholders. I was an economist. So I'm really looking forward to using my skills here and helping the Regional Transportation District. I grew up in the Denver metro area, and I've been taking RTD buses and light rail since the early 80s. And I'm excited to help bring us fully into the 21st century and just make Denver a more vibrant city by making public transportation more of a presence in our area. And again, thank you all. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Director. And with that, I will now call the roll. Director Arcuri.
Present.
Director Banker.
Present.
Director Busick.
Here.
Director Chandler.
Present.
Director Geisinger.
Here.
Director Guccianritter.
Here.
Director Guzman.
Present.
Director Harwick.
Here.
Director Larson.
Here.
Director Nicholson.
Present.
Director O'Keefe.
Here.
Director Palieri.
Present.
Director Risha.
Present.
Director Whitmore.
Present.
Excellent. I am present as well, so that is 15 present and 0 absent. Thank you all for being here for our quorum. Next, I'm going to open it up to public participation, which is open to anyone who'd like to address the board. As we have both in-person and remote attendees, in-person comments will go first, followed by those who are participating remotely. For those attending in person, please come up to the podium when your name is called. And if you're not already signed up to speak and like to do so, please approach the podium when I call for any additional speakers. For those attending virtually, if you wish to speak and have not already done so, please make sure you raise your virtual hand and press *9 on your phone. Staff will unmute you when it is your turn to speak. And if you're dialed in, make sure you press *6 to toggle your mute settings. And please be aware that by participating in this process, you're being recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded, then your comments will have to be submitted via writing. If any speaker has documentation or reference materials for the board, or if any member of the public would like to submit written comments, please email those materials to the board office at rtd.boardoffice@rtd-denver.com. During this time, the board will not offer any direct comments or responses. However, if you'd like to be contacted regarding your public comment, please make sure you email the RTD board office at rtd.boardoffice@rtd-denver.com. Speakers should begin their remarks by stating their names, and will have up to 3 minutes to provide their comments. It's not like I've said this 88 times now. Any online participants or anyone who signed up for the queue, Mr. Kroll?
Sorry about that. There is no one online who has indicated a desire to provide public comment, and there was no one in person who signed up either. There were, however, several emailed comments, and if you give me just one moment, I would be happy to read those into the record.
And again, after those comments are read into the record, I'll invite anyone in person. If you would like to speak, make sure you go up to the podium and we'll recognize you.
All right, my apologies for the delay here. We had the following letters submitted since your last regular board meeting. The Board of County Commissioners submitted a letter regarding FISA, and that is the Board of County Commissioners, excuse me, this was circulated from Boulder County. Emily Schlager wrote in a letter regarding bike and scooter storage on buses and trains. Joe Meyer wrote in regarding the special holiday S line. Kelly De La Mora and Spencer De La Mora both wrote in regarding A-line train horns, and MD Rakib Mia wrote in regarding an additional 15L stop.
Thank you, Mr. Kroll. Are there any participants in person who would like to speak? Please approach the podium at this time. Going once, going twice. Okay. With no participants, I will close this section for public comment. Moving on to our next item, and that is going to be the election of the 2026 board officers. As stated in the board bylaws, in the first official meeting of the year, the board will elect the executive committee officers, which will be our chair, our first vice chair, our second vice chair, our treasurer, and our secretary. You all received a memo defining the process by which we will elect our executive committee officers for 2026. We will begin with the position of chair and will work our way through the process for all the executive committee offices. Those board members who nominate candidates, those seconding nominations, if any, and any other speakers will have up to 3 minutes to speak regarding the candidates for each position. For each office, I'll ask for nominations. When there are no additional nominations, the nomination phase will close and a call will be made for a vote utilizing paper ballots that Mr. Kroll will distribute and later collect. After the paper ballots are collected, General Counsel Melanie Snyder, in coordination with 2 directors chosen by myself who are not candidates for the office in question, will serve as co-election monitors. General Counsel Snyder and the chosen directors will tally the votes, and General Counsel Snyder will announce the name of the director who received at least 8 votes. If no candidate for a given office receives at least 8 votes, we'll repeat the voting process. If we proceed into additional rounds of voting, board members who wish to speak further on behalf of a candidate by providing new or additional information may do so at that time. Again, each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. If only one director is nominated for a given office, the board may proceed to approve the nominee by acclamation, rather than using the voting system that was just described. As the board's current chair, I'll serve as the presiding officer over all elections. Once all officer elections are complete, I'll turn the meeting over to our newly elected board chair. Are there any objections or questions regarding this process? Okay. At this time, I'll proceed for nominations for chair of the board. Are there any nominations? Director Whitmore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my indeed pleasure to nominate Patrick O'Keefe for the position of chair for 2026. I think we all have witnessed Patrick's leadership style, his charisma, his savvy, and his ability to be a very, oh, come on now. There is charisma there. Don't you?
Please don't.
Yeah. You might have to use a gavel on our treasurer over there. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, but the background that he possesses and brings into leadership is truly phenomenal, and the timing is right for this organization to have him at the helm of this board of directors. His business acumen is off the charts with all of the things that he's done in the business world, including, his vast engineering knowledge as far as major projects and the work that he's done in his real job. It's quite breathtaking, and certainly I don't even grasp all the things that you've done with major projects, but in visiting with him, it is quite impressive. And I think that, really fits well with the need for this organization as we propel ourselves forward in 2026. He's got experience with C-suite individuals. He's, I'm sure, been one. So I think his relationship with our leadership team in the employee workforce is outstanding. He will challenge them, but he's professional and cordial and will be a good member of the team when he meets with Deborah and her senior staff, and as well as with Jack and the board office, which that relationship is extremely important as well. The last thing is, he has a political savvy that we need. Spent time on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. as a young man. And I like to think that I've kind of got the political process handled pretty well in my feeble old mind. I do pretty well in Denver, not so much in Washington, D.C. Well, here's our answer to my right, because he's been there, he's done that. And that is critical to assist Deborah and Michael Davies, to have somebody in leadership that understands the process and how important it is to have those relationships through our lobbyists and as leaders of this board. And lastly, why not have a fellow CSU Ram running the show at RTD? So with that, please vote for Patrick O'Keefe for Chair 2026.
Thank you very much, Director Whitmore. I will second that nomination. First Vice Chair O'Keefe currently has been very much my support system as the chair. I believe that, as said, I don't want to reiterate too much, but I believe his leadership going into 2026, which is going to be a pivotal moment, his expertise, his knowledge, his ability to navigate a very tough political environment, I think will be perfect for 2026. So he has been a great support to me as the first vice chair. Couldn't ask for a better first vice chair. So I hope that you consider voting for Director O'Keefe as our next chair. With that, are there any other nominees for chair? Okay. Seeing only one nominee for the position chair, I'd like to see if there's any objection to holding this election by acclamation. Oh, Director Risha.
If I may, are we allowed to ask questions?
You sure?
May,
Sure,
is it okay? Would this be the, may I?
sure.
Thanks. So I just have a couple of questions, no objection, and I hope you don't mind, presumed future chair. My first question is just recognizing that we are a very large and diverse body with a diverse set of opinions and backgrounds, and the nature of the job, I was wondering if you could share with us, what is your approach to conflict? What can we expect when we have disagreements with each other or with you? And what kind of expectations will you set for us and yourself in that regard? And the second question I have, and this is purely a policy matter, I want to preface that, is as I think about the last couple of years, and you've seen it in F&P, performance, and OSS, and it's available in our memos, internal documents, and our public dashboard, we truly have an issue with paratransit. Accessoride is not functional. And I am not saying anything about staff because I know they're working hard on this, but I think that we also set the tone for the agency. And so it's my opinion, this is a pants on fire, all hands on deck situation, but only if our next chair makes it so. Because the next chair of OSS or vice chair or other committees can do what they do, but ultimately it's going to be the chair of this body that sets the tone for what we as a body do next. So with that, obviously you have my vote, and thank you in advance for your grace and goodwill and answering my questions. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Director Risha. Director O'Keefe?
Thank you for the chance to speak, and thank you, Director Whitmore, for an introduction that I can only underachieve on going forward. So I thought about this. That's a great question, and if I was going to speak, I was going to explain what I think happens in the next year. I'm new to the RTD board. There's a pack of new people, but I am new. What was interesting to watch this year was the relative lack of conflict. There were a lot of tough issues, but in general, watching the board kind of go in the same direction. And when I thought about why I would want to be chair this year, the thing that I kept coming back to was how unlike this year is probably going to be from last year. We have significant issues in front of us. Director Whitmore talked about some of them, but a decision on joint service, a response to the accountability committee, a future path on our CEO, a budget that is getting more challenging by the day. All those things, as I look at it right now, there's probably going to be differences of opinion. And I think that is going to be the challenge this year is people are going to be disappointed. There's no way we get through this year with the questions that we have in front of us where there isn't disappointment that someone didn't get their position or what they think is the right direction. What we have to do is disagree agreeably, show each other grace, and assume that we're making the best choices with the information that we have in front of it. We can argue passionately, we can advocate, we can lobby, we can cajole, whatever you want to call it, but the challenge is going to be how we move forward after we get to that point of discourse. And so I hope that I can help lead by example and show grace for people. And I hope that I'm given some grace as I learn this job and make decisions. And hopefully we will get through the year where we feel that our positions were heard, but that the board got to a good decision. And so I think that's the challenge, and that's my view for the year. Paratransit, I think you and I are in a similar camp on what we thought should have happened with paratransit. Just thinking about what I just said about sometimes you get what you lobby for and sometimes you don't. I do think we have an underlying issue with paratransit that needs to be resolved before we get too far into our budget challenges. They're obviously interrelated. My personal view is that helping people who cannot help themselves is the first thing we should be doing, and I will continue to advocate for that. I understand that there are financial trade-offs for that, and I don't blame anyone for their opinion on what they're arguing for, because those are important priorities too. But I hope that we will review our paratransit and try to get a sustainable path that focuses on all parts of that system, not just the Access-a-Ride. I think you said it, access on demand is, or Access-a-Ride is a dysfunctional system, and access on demand thankfully showed me how that works. So you have my pledge that I will be a passionate advocate for focusing on that part of our service obligation.
Thank you very much, Director O'Keefe. Thank you for the question, Director Risha. Any other nominees for chair?
No takers after all that?
All right, seeing none, excuse me, with just one nominee for the position chair, I'd like to see, I as the chair, am going to say that we appoint Director O'Keefe as our next chair by acclamation.
So moved.
All right, seeing none, Director O'Keefe, congratulations. You will be our chair for 2026. All right, moving on. At this time, we'll proceed to nominations for first vice chair. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Ian Harwick, Director Harwick, for first vice chair. Director Harwick and I have served on the OS&S committee for the last year, and he has stepped up and taken the leadership role in the last 5 or 6 months of serving in that committee. And he has, in that time, demonstrated an incredible capacity to bring people together, to lead with efficiency, to treat people with care, but also firmness, and to demonstrate a depth of knowledge and interest in the matters before the board that I have been incredibly impressed by. I think that, you know, as we confront, as now Chair O'Keefe said, a number of very contentious, difficult issues, I don't know a single person on the board that looks at Director Harwick and sees him as anything other than a bridge builder and someone that they can work with well. And I think that that's a voice that we very much want to have on the executive committee as we deal with the coming year.
Thank you, Director. Okay. Do you have a second? Director Risha? Excellent. Do you want any words you'd like to share?
Well, it's hard to top that. I will share that I was vehemently opposed to my colleague running for this seat because I would lose my seatmate that I've had for 3 years, and I'm not one for massive change. Ian is a mensch, extraordinary human being. He is forthright. He is kind. I will miss you. Please say hello if you can. But I suppose you could join the front of the room. I really can't add much more except to say that some people really add when they walk into the room, and Ian Harwick is one of them.
Thank you, Director. Okay. Are there any other nominations for first vice chair? Okay. Seeing only one nominee for the position of first vice chair, I'd like to see if there's any objection to holding this election by acclamation. Okay, seeing none, congratulations, Director Harwick. You are our new first vice chair, so congratulations. We'll now move on to second vice chair. Are there any nominations for second vice chair? Director Nicholson.
Thank you. I'll go for 2. I'd like to nominate Director Gutenritter for second vice chair. I'll start off with a joke and say that he is head and shoulders above any other Chris on the board of directors, and literally someone who I have come to really admire in his time. Chris does not always talk as much as some of us, but he does take the time to deeply consider every issue that he's presented with. He has demonstrated an ability to learn and engage under Chair Guzman's leadership of the Performance Committee, and a passion for, and this is really true of Director Harwick as well, the ability to be a bridge builder and listen to everybody. And I think that, you know, we've had somebody for the last year on this board who is also, let's call him the strong silent type, as our second vice chair, and who has been invaluable in that role. And you know, when Troy decided not to serve in his final year in this role, I was very hopeful that you know, someone of his caliber would step up and bring a similar temperament to the executive committee. And so I was really thrilled when Chris agreed to be sacrificed to the gods and take it on. No, I think he'll be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Any seconds?
I'd like to second.
Director Pagliari, any words you'd like to share?
Yes. Although Chris and I joined the board at the same time among a cohort of new people, I think Chris has shown his professional experience and leadership abilities exceed others within the same cohort, definitely myself. I've often gone to Chris for advice and used his knowledge and his ability to look at any decision and really weigh the pros and cons and make the right choice in every circumstance, whether even if he doesn't agree with me necessarily. I believe he's a very fair and balanced view on this board, and that's why I support him for this position. I think he'll do a great job. I think he will offer good advice to the incoming chair and represent a very diverse group of beyond just the opinions that I agree, but also everyone on the board, and he listens well. So I hope that you vote for him. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Are there any other nominees for second vice chair? Any nominees? Okay, seeing only one nominee for the position of second vice chair, I'd like to see if there's any objection to holding this election by acclamation. Seeing none, congratulations, Director Guccienritter, you're our new second vice chair. All right, now we move on. We have two more. At this time, we will proceed to nominations for treasurer. Are there any nominations for treasurer? Yes, Director Chandler.
I am excited to nominate Karen Benker for the position of treasurer. Karen knows the budget in and out. She and I are becoming fast friends. We've had lots of differences of opinion, but we've come together because we're willing to work together. She's willing to hear me. She's willing to offer all kinds of great advice, and she is willing to listen. I appreciate her in-depth knowledge about the budget, and I am excited to nominate Karen Benker, and I hope you would support her as well. As you know, Karen's been here, been doing this, been there, done that kind of a thing, but also brings some fresh ideas and perspective that I think I know that I don't have, and I think her knowledge and experience has been invaluable. So please support Karen for the treasurer.
Thank you, Director Chandler. Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Director Geisinger is a second. Excellent. Are there any other nominees for treasurer? Okay, seeing none, seeing only one nominee, the position of treasurer, I'd like to see if there's any objection to holding this election by acclamation. Seeing none, Director Benker, you are our new treasurer. Actually staying on as treasurer, so congratulations. All right, and for our final position, we'll proceed to nominations for secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary? Director Risha.
I would like to nominate Director Michael Guzman.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. So Director Guzman is one of my chief competitors on this board, and that we are always racing to see who can take on the most, do the most, and it's been an extraordinary kind of competition because Michael is, again, another person that adds when he walks into a room. And if you work with Director Guzman, you'll always walk away a little bit better in the position that you were than when you started. He is honest and a straight shooter, picks up the phone, returns a call, takes time to counsel you when you need it, goes out of his way to be a helping hand, even beyond his immediate and extraordinary responsibilities. I feel as though we are very blessed to have Michael, and I also had a chance, as a colleague who was sworn at the same time, see Michael serve on executive before. And there were times where I was quite humbled, just don't tell him. And what impressed me, amongst many things that do, is his capability to represent us to the public, to the legislature, to our various stakeholders, and do so with a grace and temperament and intelligence and finesse that is quite unmatched. And with that, I will close my nomination for my colleague,
Director Michael Guzman. But before I do, I just want to say that it is an honor serving with you, and I appreciate everything you bring to the table. You bring a lot, and we're lucky. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Ruscia. Is there a second? Director Busick?
Yeah, I remember when Michael Guzman first came on the board, and I thought, oh my God, what a mess. You know, to see Michael grow into his role as a director has been incredible. He takes on more than any individual should be able to take on, and I think he'd be great in the job. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you very much. Are there any other nominees for secretary? Director Harwick.
Director Nicholson. Director Nicholson has been, well, first off, I just say the guy knows how to count, as he said last year. That's something that stuck with me then, and it's, I'm not going to say I think about it pretty much every day that Chris knows how to count. And I think that he's been a fierce advocate for his vision for RTD. He's been a fierce advocate for it, and I appreciate his dedication to trying to find people that are interested in serving, that are coming to be the public servants that we all want to see here on this board. And so I applaud his ability to do that and to find the people and do the work to get this done. So, Director Nicholson.
Thank you. A second for Director Nicholson. Director Chandler?
I would like to second the nomination for Chris Nicholson. I too have seen Chris have a passion and a relentless pursuit of all things RTD. And that's not easy in a time frame and a place where we have lots of competing interests. And Chris certainly puts RTD in the interests of the agency ahead of a lot of things, and his passion and ability to communicate, sometimes overly communicate, but communicate nonetheless, his ideas is invaluable, and he does listen. I appreciate that. You know, Chris and I do not always agree, but we do have a great relationship where we can actually chide each other along the way, laugh, and be friends. And I think that's part of it, is being able to come together and collaborate on issues that are of importance. And so I too would second the nomination of Chris Nicholson.
Thank you very much, Director. So we do have more than one candidate nominated for this office of secretary, and I will ask Mr. Kroll to distribute the paper ballots to the directors. I am also going to need 2 directors who are not up for election to serve as election monitors with Ms. Snyder. Once the votes are all tallied, I will ask Ms. Snyder to announce the winner. So, Mr. Kroll? Yes.
So I think you need to name 2 folks to help with that. And then the second thing is you might give the candidates an opportunity to say a few words as well.
Sounds good. Any any volunteers who would be interested as your 2? Director Ruscia and Director Busick will be our 2. And then candidates, either one of you, would you like to speak or share on behalf? Director Nicholson?
Thank you. So I think all I'd like to say is that, you know, you have 2 phenomenal individuals running for this, both of whom have served as treasurer. Everything that I've been able to do this year, sorry, it's one of those days. I'm not coming for your job, Karen, I promise. As secretary, has built upon what Michael did. The access to records, the ability to look at old resolutions and understand the history, and to work with Mr. Kroll on projects like the collaboration tool, came out of the framework that Michael has built during his time on the board. And I don't know if I lived up to the example that he set, but I do hope that the things that I brought to the role over the last year have been valuable. I will just close by saying that The collaboration tool is going to be implemented later this month, and staff is looking for your input before it goes live. So please give them that necessary feedback. It's going to be a phenomenal opportunity for us to have the kinds of discussions and share information in much the way that the secretary should be concerned with, to ensure that when we're making the types of decisions that our new board chair leads us through, that we do so in a way that is open to the public, that is well documented, and as I've talked with Mr. Kroll about, that when people 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now come back and ask, why did you make the decision you did on Northwest Rail? Why did you make the decision you did on dealing with the budget? That they have a record that they can use to understand how we charted the waters that we did. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Nicholson. Director Guzman?
Thank you. Thank you for the nomination and the second. I really appreciate it. I did serve as secretary prior to Director Nicholson. The biggest part of the job and the most challenging I often found, being new to the board, that was my second year, was going before the legislature. And the secretary has a couple of what look like very small functions, but preparing documents that are then delivered to the President of the Senate when they're requested, when nobody else is able to deliver them, showing up here at this building, having that work printed, sealing it, and delivering it by hand at the request of the President of the Senate in that year was probably one of the most important things that happened. And it happened at a time when I was running out of a doctor's appointment and there was nobody else available. Right? And so I want to put it to you. I am asking you for my job back. I really did enjoy being secretary, and if you know me, taking notes is my thing. I keep ridiculous records on my own, and I have been inspired by Director Nicholson, current secretary, to start learning how to use some of the note-taking applications that are available. Although I find plenty of spelling errors and grammatical errors with it, I go back and fix them. That way, when we have conversations and nobody can quite remember what day or what time or who said what or what was that thing that came up, we have a good record to do it. And so I think not only looking back at the minutes of the meetings as a chair, now relying on the secretary to be able to present those minutes and say these are correct and that there are no difficulties in the record are going to be even more important as we go forward for keeping the records of this board. So I ask for your support on that, and thank you for the opportunity again.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Director Guzman. Are there any other nominees for secretary? I should ask. Okay. Two excellent candidates. Mr. Kroll is going to be passing out the ballot to all of you, and then we'll have Director Ruscha and Director Busick work with GC Snyder. So hang tight, everyone who's watching live. Ms. Snyder, do we have a director with at least 8 votes?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Having conferred with monitors, directors Rusha and Busick, I can confirm that Director Nicholson has received at least 8 votes and has been reelected to the position of secretary.
Congratulations, Director Nicholson. Okay. So that is our election of our officers. Thank you all. And with that, I'm going to turn over the new duties to our newly elected chair to complete the rest of this meeting.
If Julian, former chair Bouquet, is what he's looking for. I wanted to take just a moment of privilege to thank you for your leadership. You've taught me a lot, and it's been a challenging year for you too. I know you balance it with a more important job, taking care of everybody's children in middle school, which is maybe a test of sanity for you. But I wanted to just take a second and thank you for your leadership and participation, and also thank outgoing second vice chair Troy Whitmore, who I thought was the most honest person in the world until he did my nomination, and now I've got to rethink it a little bit. But I wanted to thank both of you because it's been a pleasure to serve with you, and the agency is better for your service. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, a little grace and patience here. So the next item on the agenda is a proclamation for former Director Peggy Catlin. For the Board of Directors to approve a proclamation recognizing the contributions of former Director Peggy Catlin to the Regional Transportation District.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I've got Guzman as a mover and Director Bouquet as a second. Directors and guests, we've come to a bittersweet portion of tonight's meeting. Every time we have a transition in membership of the board, we are presented with the opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of the director or directors who have departed and share a collective appreciation for all they have accomplished during their time at RTD. Tonight, we have the opportunity to recognize the fabulous Director Catlin's service. Shortly, I will ask for a motion, which we already did. There you go. Wheels are off. To approve the proclamation and then ask for a Director Geisinger to read the proclamation recognizing former Director Catlin. After the proclamation is read, I will then ask if any of the directors would like to say a few words. Once directors have had a chance to speak, I'll ask for a vote on the proclamation. I am grateful that Director Catlin is able to join us on the screen this evening. Once the proclamation has been read, discussed, and voted on, I will hand the floor over to you, former Director Catlin, to address those assembled. We have the motions. We're going to jump to the next one. Director Geisinger, would you read the proclamation for Director Catlin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And hello, Peggy. I'm glad you're here tonight. I'm really honored to read this proclamation in honor of my good friend, Peggy. She was appointed and started just before Troy and Vince and others and I started, and she always was super helpful, and as I say, we became friends over the years. She started a new life adventure in South Dakota with her children and grandchildren. We wish her the best. So this is a proclamation in recognition of the contributions made to the Regional Transportation District, or RTD, 2018 through 2025 by Director Peggy Catlin. Whereas the Jefferson County Commissioners appointed Director Peggy Catlin to represent District N on the RTD Board of Directors in 2018, and the constituents of District N elected Director Catlin to represent them on the RTD Board of Directors in 2018 and again in 2022. And whereas Director Catlin served faithfully and dutifully on the board for 7 years as an advocate for RTD to be the trusted leader in mobility, delivering excellence and value to its customers and community while making lives better through connections. And whereas Director Catlin served with distinction in many leadership roles during her tenure, including terms as first vice chair, second vice chair, chair of the Audit Ad Hoc Committee, chair of the General Manager Oversight and Performance Management General Manager Executive Search Committee, Chair of the Finance, Administration, and Audit Committee, Chair of the Performance Committee, Vice Chair of the Civil Rights Committee, Vice Chair of the Finance and Planning Committee. Additionally, she served admirably as a member of the Audit Committee, the General Manager Oversight and Performance Management Committee, the RTD Salaried and Pension Trusts, and the Ad Hoc Committee for Oversight of Certain Litigations. Further, she represented RTD well as the board's liaison to the Colorado Department of Transportation and as a member of the Denver Regional Council of Governments Regional Transportation Committee, the E470 Public Highway Authority Board, and the Jefferson County Transportation Action and Advocacy Group. And whereas Director Catlin served on the board during a time of tremendous progress for RTD, during which she helped guide the organization to ensure its long-term viability and sustainability. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the RTD Board of Directors, we, the RTD Board of Directors, hereby extend our heartiest commendations to Director Peggy Catlin for her many contributions to this board over the past 7 years and recognize her steadfast dedication to RTD and its customers, dated the 6th day of January, 2026. May I add just for a moment? Yeah. Peggy really is the consummate professional. She came here after serving many different roles in the transportation industry, including deputy director at CDOT, and brought expertise in a number of areas. One thing that I know she really stood out on was from the very beginning, she was saying we have to make our audit process and our audit committee more robust. And we have done that. I think it's a huge addition to RTD and to what we've been able to bring to the board. And she was great to work with. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Geisinger. Would anyone else like to share a few words about Director Catlin? Director Chandler.
Hello, Peggy. Good to see you. I have to say that I have enjoyed working with Peggy, sitting next to her, and also working with her on the E470 Authority Board, and just getting to know her as a friend. We've gone to coffee and just, again, having that relationship. So she will be sorely missed, not only her expertise and her guidance and her mentorship, but just her friendship in general. So good luck, Peggy, and all things as you look forward to the next generation and helping with raising your grandchildren and being a grandma. And it's a wonderful time for you. So congratulations.
Anybody else? Director Guzman.
Hi, Peggy. I remember you chairing committees and participating on this board from a hospital bed, which was absolutely remarkable to me. And you did it with grace and style. You were not scared to welcome me when I was a messy new director. But you also taught me how to do the job well, and you were always willing to listen. I remember our worst disagreement was over one word, literally one letter of one word, and we talked it out and figured out how to move on and resolve it. And I appreciated that patience and the calmness with which you explained to me where you were at and listened to me for where I was at. And I think that's the type of grace that leadership needs now, to be able to find the middle ground and not run away too far in another direction. I will say, the new director, Arcuri, has some big shoes to fill and a lot of work to do, because your district is hard hit with lack of transportation simply because of its geography. And I hope that that is a voice and a resonance that does not stop with your departure from the board, and that we continue to be reminded that the members of District N do need services as far south and west as we are able to provide within the district. And so for that and your just continued stability on this board, thank you, and I will miss you.
Director Busick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Peggy. Thanks for everything you have done for this agency and for its ridership. You know, like Lynn and now as Director Bouquet know, when you serve in the position of chair, you rely on the input and help of a lot of people. And that was true when I was chair in 2022. I leaned on Peggy Catlin quite a bit and always took her advice, because she was and is level-headed and considerate and thinks of things that I would never have thought of. So she was a great resource and a great friend. You'll be missed. You are missed already. Good luck in South Dakota. How's the weather there? It's got to be crazy. So, anyway, thank you so much, Peggy. Thanks for your service, and thanks for all you've done for us.
Thank you. Anybody else? Director Ruscia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, Peggy. We missed you already. So the first resolution that had my name on it, and it passed, was also co-authored by Peggy and our friend, the late Marjorie Sloan. That was a nice, warm welcome when I first became a director, and it's the statement that we read about our appreciation for our staff and our workforce. So that was a great way to get to know Peggy, because as you guys remember, we started remote that year. And there are a lot of reasons why I already miss you, Peggy, but one of the things that I really love is we would be in a meeting or a special retreat or something, and then Peggy, who has both a finance and engineering background, would say something, and then everybody would just be like, I really need to process that. So as I've talked about people who add, and we all add, and Peggy has this incredible background that I'm sure we're all missing, but we wish you well, and gosh, if you're in town or just think about us, stop by and say hi. Thanks, Peggy.
Director Whitmore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hi, Peggy. Good to see your smiling face. We were elected the same time in 18, although you had a head start, well, a hell of a head start, because you were a transportation guru long before RTD time. But I really appreciate your depth of knowledge, and it is missed. You know, a couple of the highlights that Lynn mentioned, and it's not enough, but a couple that really popped to my mind is, you know, I appreciated your leadership during the general manager search. That was a labor-intensive activity, and you chaired that committee and helped herd all of us through that process with the assistance of staff. And, you know, we came out of that process with a wonderful leader here at RTD, and I take a great deal of pride of that. But without your leadership, that would have been far more cumbersome and more of a time sucker than it was, and things went really well. You had our backs for those of us that weren't auditors or engineers in many opportunities, and I appreciated your knowledge of that. The one thing I always think is your legacy, as mentioned by Lynn and others, is how we took, because of your leadership, an audit process that was inadequate, and you worked with a couple of colleagues and obviously with staff and our new general manager to work that into something we can be proud of, and that can be utilized for boards to come. So your legacy is, in my opinion, this whole audit situation that has been dramatically improved. So thank you with that. I don't know what you're doing with all your time now after hearing that resume. Actually, I do know, because I see on Facebook what you're doing, grandkids and kids. So good for you, and thank you for your service.
Secretary Nicholson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Peggy, I just wanted to say thank you. You know, I don't think I realized at the beginning of when we met, and certainly when we started serving, how much I would learn from you in just a year. You know, you're not one of the more bombastic members. You were not one of the more bombastic members of the board, but the way that you managed relationships and the way that you handled yourself during disagreements taught me more than I ever could have expected over the last year. And I aspire to be the kind of director that you were able to be in how you dealt with other people and handled moments when you wanted things and other people didn't. And I think that caliber and experience was incredibly important in facilitating how things went over the last year. So just thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Secretary Nicholson. GM CEO Johnson?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As introduced, Deborah Johnson, General Manager, CEO, and thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and congratulations to all of you that have been elected to serve on the Executive Committee. Look forward to working with you. To immediate past Director Catlin, I want to extend my deepest gratitude and thanks for the opportunity to work with you in partnership. As indicated by Director Whitmore, we had an opportunity to collaborate early on in my tenure, coming into the organization in the height of COVID, recognizing that there were outstanding elements that had come out of a state audit, and recognizing that you leaned in to issues and shared with me things that you were trying to champion for a while, and in collaboration, trusted my ability to leverage a peer review with the American Public Transportation System, where we had chief audit executives coming from some major organizations that provided a framework that we then could leverage for an external consultant to provide options for best practices. And as indicated by those sitting around this U-shaped table, we're able to take hold of an internal audit process that we can all be proud of. So thank you tremendously for your leadership. Thank you for leaning in and serving as the chair of the Performance Committee. Collectively, we have had the opportunity to do yeoman's work. Thank you for the support of the team. And I want to say, I appreciate all that you have done in the transportation space, being a woman, having served on the WTS Board of Directors. As you know, I currently serve on the WTS Board, so there's this transportation synergy, especially when you look around the room and don't see women in places of leadership as it relates to transportation. It was great to come into an organization and have someone such as yourself be such a stalwart. So with that, I wish you and Joel the best and enjoy your next chapter in South Dakota. And you and I still have to have an opportunity to engage. So on behalf of the leadership team, thank you for your dedicated service to the Regional Transportation District and to all the constituencies in which we provide service to. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity. I yield the floor.
Anybody else? So I just want to take a quick second and note that it's been said, but there's no one who has had more of an impact on transportation in the state, and you'd be really hard pressed to find anyone who has left a mark as significant as Peggy has, and you definitely will find no one who has done it better. So I wanted to thank her very much for her service, and wish her the best with grandkids, and I'm sure her memory of us will last about 15 seconds when she starts that. I'd like to call for the vote now. Are there any no votes on the motion? And get ready to just leave. Hearing none, the proclamation is adopted. I would like to note, per RTD tradition, that a flag which has been flown over the state capitol is provided to each outgoing director in honor of their years of service. Director Catlin, the board office will ensure that you receive this. I wanted to just say once again what an honor and privilege it's been to serve with you. At this time, I'll open the floor to Director Catlin to share her remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I very much appreciate it. Happy New Year to all of you. It's really great to see many of you again. Believe it or not, I've truly missed the camaraderie and debate that was with this board. I mean, it'll be 2 months from now is when I was appointed to this body. And the nearly 8 years I served have been full of rewards, and most importantly, the relationships that I was able to build and to retain have been so rewarding and have really enriched my life. I just want to congratulate Director Arcuri on her appointment, and I remain available to help with anything or answer any questions that you may have about this vast District N. My congratulations go out to Executive Committee members O'Keefe, Harwick, Guchenritter, Banker, and Nicholson. Congratulations to all of you. Having served on the executive committee for all but one of my years, it's a lot of work, but it's very, very rewarding. And just know that you will continue to do a good job. Thank you to all the directors who had so many kind words to say. I very much appreciate it. I've enjoyed working with so many of you, and to GM CEO Johnson and the full leadership team. My gratitude to all of you. You've always been so helpful and supportive of this board of directors. And with that, and looking out at all of you, I want to say that I believe the future of this agency is in good hands with this board, and I wish you all good luck with the challenges that come ahead. And to answer, was it Director Busick's question about the weather? It's really pretty similar to what I came from. It's actually fairly temperate, and it's a beautiful setting. But given that, since Joel has retired, we are heading off to warmer climates for a month of vacation here in about a week. So I don't know if I'll be thinking of you all when I'm on the beaches of Costa Rica, but rest assured that I will be remembering you all fondly, and it's been an honor and a privilege to serve with you and to serve on this board of directors of a very, very valuable asset to our state of Colorado and to the region. So thank you, and I bid you farewell. Sorry to be a little more verbose than I normally am, but wanted to take the time to express my appreciation. So with
Thank you for your kind words. And for Director Busick, as a native of North Dakota, I can tell you we call South Dakota the Riviera of the Dakotas. There is one recommended action on the agenda tonight listed as item 7, action A. That item is the 2026 RTD Board of Directors meeting posting location for the Board of Directors to designate a board meeting portal on the RTD public website, rtd.iqm2.com, as the official location for posting of notices of all public meetings in 2026 as required by sections 24-6-402, paren 2, paren C, paren 1 and 3 of CRS.
So move.
Second.
I have Bouquet as the mover and Busick as the second. Is there any discussion on this motion? Yep. Director Ruscia.
I have an amendment that I hope will be considered friendly, and I hope I'm not on your bad side on day one. May I?
Yeah, please.
Thank you. So if you've seen our website lately and you go to find board meeting information to share with constituents and the like, you will find it's several clicks to get to the information, the page. You have to open up a PDF. You get the idea. So I think I trust Mr. Kroll to just make conforming language, but I would just like to offer an amendment that we explicitly state we will put a prominent link on our main RTD-Denver website so that folks can get to where they need to go to find information and speak to their elected officials if desired.
Thank you, Director Ruscia. That was a motion, right?
Yes, I did a
guess
little
it's
out of order if
motion.
you'll accept it. Sorry.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Director Nicholson, the second. Board Office Director Kroll, is this amenable to our process?
Yeah, I can work with Chief Communication Officer Stuart Summers, and we can get something up as soon as possible.
If I may?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on this matter. As the General Manager CEO, we'd be more than willing to provide a link. It's very straightforward and can be done expeditiously. So with that, wanted to offer up to the board. Thank you very kindly.
Okay. Director Ruscia, since I don't really have any text in front of me to amend, would you consider withdrawing your amendment and take that assurance as as acceptable? Please.
Well, I trusted Mr. Kroll, but no, I'm just kidding. Of course, it's fine. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. All right, saved us a roll call vote. Mr. Kroll.
I just want to add one thing. We are in the process of procuring a replacement software, as you're all aware, and when that goes into effect, we'll bring back a subsequent action to update that if necessary. And so regardless, the new solution is going to be more modern and more accessible.
Okay, thank you. Secretary Nicholson.
I just wanted to say, Mr. Kroll, thank you for answering my question before I had the opportunity to ask it. So that's all.
Director Chandler.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I was wondering too, if we can have, to Director Ruscia's point, it often takes you to not the entire agenda, or it only takes you to the future meetings, nothing to the current meeting. So I think it is a little bit clunky. So if we can have something that it points you to the meeting at hand. Even tonight, I had to look for the meeting tonight because it was pushing me to the next meeting. So something that would allow it to be a little bit more user-friendly, that would be very helpful.
Okay, thank you. I got a nod from GM CEO Johnson.
I was just going to say, I really appreciate that staff is putting the Zoom links in the calendar invites now for the meetings so that we can join those directly from that. One place to put it would be to put the Zoom link to the PDF in the calendar invite, as well as the PDF invite in the calendar invites that we get, as well as the Zoom links for the meetings, if that's something that would be possible. As secretary, this is stupidly one of the things that I actually should be working on. I'll chat with you, Jack, about how to make that easier, because I've run into the same thing.
Director Guzman.
Sorry, did we get a motion in a second on the amendment?
We
or on
did.
the
We had
recommended action?
Bouquet and Buzek.
Okay, thank you.
I believe. You got that right, for the main motion. So the friendly amendment has been withdrawn. The main motion is in front of us. Is there any other discussion? No, okay. I'll now call for the vote. Are there any no votes on this motion? Okay. Then the motion passes, and there were no votes. Approval of the minutes. The final 2025 board minutes were included in the board packet. Are there any corrections from the directors? Unless there's objection to considering these minutes all at the same time, may I please have a motion to approve the minutes for the following meetings? December 2nd, 2025 board meeting. This is going to be a long list. Nope. December 9th, 2025 joint study session with Front Range Passenger Rail Board of Directors.
So move.
I have a Bouquet as the mover and Ruscia as the second. I'll now call for the vote. Are there any no votes on this action? The minutes are passed unanimously. This is going quite well so far. Director at Curie.
I should probably officially abstain since I wasn't a member then. So
We've had that in the past, so I've seen that. So we'll note an abstention for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Other matters. Are there any other matters? Director Chandler.
Yes, thank you, Director Chairman O'Keefe. I am very excited about what's happening in our city and the fact that the Broncos are in the playoffs. And we do have a bye week because we have the first round secured. And I know this is probably dropping a enormous kind of a big bomb or a seed, as I say. But I would like to see if RTD could have some opportunity to increase service for the Broncos for the first playoff game. Whether that is some type of bus service or whether that's additional train services. But I do think that it would be an opportunity for us to kind of test ride what's going on for the next season. We have committed to having special events for all kinds of things in the future, and I would like to see if we can have a test run even as soon as 2 weeks. So I would just like to kind of lay it out there, especially for staff. I know this is a big challenge, but I would like to see us at least attempt, or at least have some kind of press opportunity to say, hey, Denver, we're starting to see things really turn around with the 16th Street, all of the events, the fact that
crime is on the decrease. I mean, I just think we're on the cusp of something great, and I think we should be the leaders on making our city and the transportation that leads to this city great again. And I would love to see that happen. So.
Thank you, Director Chandler. Treasurer Banker?
Thank you. 2 months ago, when Director Chandler and I were talking about, wouldn't it be fun to reinstate the Broncos ride and Rockies ride and Boulder, she came up with the suggestion of, why don't we try the Broncos ride during the playoffs? And of course, who knew that we were this close to the Super Bowl? And so, lo and behold, the Broncos won 14 games. And this is, I think, a great opportunity, since it's going to be 2 weeks before the next home game, since we have playing field advantage. And so if it is possible, COO and CEO, if it's possible to perhaps, as just a suggestion, perhaps have Broncos ride start at a park and ride in each of the 4 quadrants of the RTD district, just to see what kind of interest we could have. I think that would be fun. And I realize it would be a lot of organizing real quick, but it would give us some wonderful press, and it would get everybody excited. And I think almost everybody here loves the Broncos, and I think it'd be a good win for us. And also, since they're interested in working with RTD for their new stadium site and having a rail stop, I think dialogue has been opened up, and it'd be great if we could have that conversation, and we start now. So, thank you.
Thank you. Secretary Nicholson.
Thank you very much. So obviously, super enthusiasm at anything we can do to bring people into, into central, to the game, and not just to the game, but into central Denver. I mean, downtown's going to be a party. Even if you can't make it to the game, you're going to come out to the bars. To that point, I want to say first off that I really, really appreciate everything that the agency and GMCEO Johnson and all of your team did around the additional service for New Year's Eve. It was a smashing success. People loved it. I know a ton of people who took it, and I know how much work it was to get all of those buses and trains running late, and they really just phenomenal. So what I would ask you is, hopefully maybe that playbook of being able, when it comes to just to think about places where I would expect you to see a lot of people coming in from, Boulder would be a great example. And the FF only takes, I think it's like 200 people an hour right now, based on what we'd be doing. Demand for that's going to be off the charts. Same thing with the 15, same thing with the light rail, same thing with the N line. And so the last thing we want is people being like, oh, I'm going to take the train in, and it's crush loads. So I guess I would just ask, are there things we can do using that playbook that you just rolled out so successfully to ensure that we're doing as much as we can reasonably to meet what will almost assuredly be off the charts demand on those, hopefully two home games between now and the Super Bowl? Yes. Okay, 2. Yes. I follow college football, but between now and the Super Bowl. So thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Nicholson. GMCEO Johnson.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Director Chandler, Secretary Nicholson, and Treasurer Banker. I want to assure you that quite naturally we follow football, and that we have been working and we have been engaged with the Broncos. Just today there was a meeting that was held with comm staffs as we look at activation activities and things of the like. Tomorrow morning, as my team can attest, we're holding our operations meeting, of which I will be involved. I have that on a monthly basis. We are going to discern what we can do in an effort to manage expectations, recognizing it is 2 weeks out as we go forward in working to do a myriad of different elements, but you have my commitment. We will keep this body apprised, as we did with the other services that we were able to deploy relative to the holiday train as well as New Year's Eve events, because this will be evolving as we go forward, not as an excuse, but just to manage your expectations relative to what it is that we will do. Quite naturally, several of us have had experience in providing services to World Championship teams where transit was vitally important. So we're not novices and want to ensure that we understand the importance of this and how RTD could put its best foot forward. So thank you very much for your comments.
Any other discussion on this topic? Okay. Director Curie?
And we might as well get ready for the Super Bowl party as well. So RTD, be ready.
Well, anyway, are there any other matters? Okay. In a moment, the board will meet in executive session for a briefing from the Chief of Police, Stephen Martingano, regarding safety protocols during our meetings, active shooter training, and emergency response, all fun topics. I'd like to append the motion to move into executive session to state that the board meeting will be deemed adjourned after it adjourns into the executive session. For public transparency, this means that once the board moves into executive session, the main meeting will be adjourned. I will now entertain a motion to move into executive session to discuss the following. Pursuant to Section 24-6-402, paren 4, paren D, CRS, specialized details of security arrangements, and Section 24-72-24, paren 2, paren A, paren 8, paren A, CRS, specialized detail of physical and cyber assets of critical infrastructure, protective measures, emergency response plans, or system operational data of such assets that would be useful to a person in planning an attack on critical infrastructure. For a briefing by Chief of Police to the board meeting on security measures, active shooter training, and emergency response. Do I have a motion?
So move.
So moved.
I'm giving the motion to Chandler. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, Guzman second. The main meeting is adjourned into executive session at 6:57 p.m. Yes.
Have 2 minutes.
See if anyone's opposed.
Oh, anybody opposed?
Can we have 2 minutes?
No opposed. All right, the motion passes unanimously. The main meeting is adjourned into executive session now at 6:58 p.m. For all those who are expected to attend, would you please stay seated? And for everyone else, would you please vacate the room at this time and take all of your belongings with you? Well, we will transition as quickly as possible. Please allow staff a few minutes to switch everything over from the public meeting to the executive session. In the executive session, once all directors and necessary staff are present, we'll start the recording.